morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cavus. More than 1,000 farmers arrived in early December at the annual Kansas Farm Bureau meeting. Topics ranged from GMOs, agriculture advocacy to urban populations, and public policies. This year's convention marked the end of the long tenure of retiring Kansas Farm Bureau President Steve Backus. We hope you enjoy this newscast as we explore the Kansas Farm Bureau annual meeting and pay tribute to Steve Backus and all of his years of service. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cavus. The Kansas Farm Bureau is a strong organization in the state of Kansas, and the Kansas Farm Bureau just had their annual meeting in Manhattan to discuss hot-button issues like GMOs, agriculture advocacy to urban populations, and public policies. American Farm Bureau Federation President Bob Stallman was among the featured speakers of the two-day event, which began December 1st. Also in attendance was farm lobbyist Mary Kay Thatcher, who also gave a presentation.
Well, we're certainly hoping to be able to make good changes to the Endangered Species Act. It's not something that's really been looked at or had any progress in making changes for quite a few years. I think there are some things that are outdated, and certainly lesser prairie chicken is a great example of something where it's just gotten out of hand and something needs to happen. So we try to provide states with input about what things have worked in other states. That's a great thing about a federation. Sometimes you can learn from how another state has beat the issue. But more importantly, on this kind of one, we're trying to make some national laws that will preclude us from having so many problems.
Another issue that faced Bureau members was the lesser prairie chicken. On March 27, 2014, the lesser prairie chicken was listed as threatened under the Endangered Species Act. Recently, a new coalition is fighting to defend the economically prosperous area where the bird was listed as threatened. The coalition comprised of Kansas Farm Bureau, the Kansas Corn Growers Association, the American Farm Bureau, and other groups opposed the request that the lesser prairie chicken be listed as endangered species.
We're certainly looking forward to having a lame duck session for the next 10 days, hoping we can get some of the things done that have been sort of left over to be mopped up till now. We're looking at getting the tax extender bill done and certainly keeping the federal government funded so we don't have a shutdown.
Mary Kay and the American Farm Bureau are influential in the way that they hear what producers say and bring it to Congress.
One of the reasons that Farm Bureau is as influential as it is that everybody in Washington knows we have a grassroots policy process where people get together at their county levels and they make recommendations. For a national policy, for example, it goes to the state. The State Farm Bureau will make a recommendation and then it'll be debated with the other 50 states. So it's not me as a lobbyist saying to a member of Congress, this is what I think. I'm simply there representing the farmers when they're home doing what they want to do, which is to farm, and they know that I'm there speaking for them. So the fact that our policy is developed by farmers at home is what makes us a really strong organization.
The American Farm Bureau deals with many problems in Washington.
We'll spend a lot of time in the next 2 years looking and trying to deal with the Environmental Protection Agency. Certainly Waters of the U.S. is probably the poster child for it. We'll be working with Congress to try to back off EPA on that. We don't see them backing off on their own, even though they're going to get hundreds of thousands of comments from farmers around the country saying this is a bad deal and this is why. I think they're going to move forward. So this is something that we're going to have legislation move, and until we can stop some of this regulatory overreach, we're going to have no choice but to go to Congress and try to get it stopped that way.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome. Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment is brought to you by Central National Bank. Put our ag professionals to work for you.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag Game in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. The Kansas Farm Bureau is a strong organization in the state of Kansas and just had their annual meeting in Manhattan to discuss hot-button issues like GMOs, agriculture advocacy in urban populations, and public policies. Mary Mertz is part of a farm family in Briley County.
My name is Mary Mertz, and I'm married to a fourth-generation farmer, Bob Mertz, and we farm in Riley County, rural Manhattan. I feel like it's very, very important for us as farmers to tell our story, not to be afraid of delving into issues and really learning about them and being able to dialogue with people who maybe from an urban background or that are hearing things that are not true about farm food production. And we have an opportunity to correct the myths and debunk the myths that are out there.
Mary's presentation was about many issues facing Kansas farmers, including genetically modified organisms. GMOs are any organism whose genetic material has been altered using genetic engineering technologies. There is a controversy over GMOs, especially with regard of their use in producing food. The dispute involves consumers, biotechnology companies, governmental regulators, non-governmental organizations, and scientists.
So we did a presentation today, and I spoke a little bit about GMOs, genetic engineering, and was really glad to have an opportunity to share some of the advocacy types of methods that I am involved with in terms of sharing what I know to be some of the truths and realities of growing GMO crops. And so that basically was what we talked about, and while Stacy talked about antibiotic use.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Turn to a Central National Bank Ag Professional. You'll be in good company. They'll help you track expense lines, manage variable input costs, assess ground agreements, pick a crop protection plan. These times demand Ag Professionals. Central National Bank. You could profit from what they know. Ag operations run better on Central Time.
Central National Bank. Money for life.
Member FDIC in your hometown since 1884.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information. This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabus. The Kansas Farm Bureau is a strong organization in the state of Kansas and just had their annual meeting in Manhattan. Mary Mertz was a speaker at the annual meeting and discussed controversies and misconceptions with GMOs.
Since the introduction of GMOs, that farmers are now using a lot more pesticides, and that simply is incorrect. Once we used pounds per acre of chemical, we now just use mere ounces per acre, and so it also is much better for the environment because we do less tillage of the ground, and there's a less release of carbon dioxide into the air. And so we were able to just apply the chemicals once and allow the crop to grow and provide a canopy, which will reduce the weeds. And so we are using much less chemical than we ever have in the past. There's health issues that need to be debunked. There was a study that was out a while back about GMOs causing cancer, and that research has since been retracted from the publications, and yet the myth still exists out there, and people still refer to it all the time. And so, I feel like it's very important that people understand that almost every credible health organization in this country and in the world have deemed genetic engineering to be a safe and healthy method of food production. I think it's up to all of us to get out of our comfort zone and learn about the issues that people are struggling with out there, and be able to, just get on a level and talk with them, on a personal level. Talk about your family, talk about what you do, what you grow. And I think that each one of us can do that in our own way. Sometimes people are comfortable writing, sometimes people are comfortable tweeting and blogging, using social media, but there's other ways too, even just personal dialogue with people you come across, strangers, neighbors, all the time there's an opportunity to just kind of share what you do and why you do it.
Tar Waters has what you need for all seasons for around the farm and home. Working, hunting, growing, feeding, snow removal, even fun for the kids. And a service department with experienced techs to help keep your equipment in top running condition. Tar Waters has a huge selection and the best prices. Tar Water Farm and Home, family owned and operated since 1978. They have what you need.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from Doc Talk. If you miss us on Monday morning, you can join us at 6:30 a.m. every Sunday morning on RFD TV. Doc Talk has a national following. We're sure glad that you joined us on Mondays, but if you miss us and you want to catch us out on a Sunday morning, get up at 6:30 a.m. and we'll be right there, RFD TV, 6:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll see you down the road.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
Ag AM in Kansas is brought to you in part by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabas. The Kansas Farm Bureau is a strong organization in the state of Kansas and just had their annual meeting in Manhattan. Richard Feltz, a Montgomery County farmer, was elected president of the Kansas Farm Bureau, replacing Steve Backus, who served in the position since 2002. Currently, the Feltz farm is a diversified grain operation with wheat, corn, and soybeans.
Yes, I'm Rich Feltz, the newly elected president of Kansas Farm Bureau. What a humbling experience. What a great organization to work with. To think that we represent all of agriculture, not just any specific commodity, but we represent all of agriculture. Not saying that I've looked forward to this position, but glad that I'm here. Going to do everything that's within my power to promote agriculture in this state. We have a lot of important issues. We've got water issues across the state. We've got the Endangered Species Act, the lesser prairie chicken that's of an issue in the western Kansas. We also have issues as regard to state funding and budget issues. As always, property taxes are a concern and where they might go. Issues, though, that an organization like that can be well prepared to represent agriculture as we address them. Yes, Kansas has most of the time had a representation on American Farm Bureau. Not critical, but very important that the state organization be represented there. We will have an opportunity to replace Steve on the AFBF board, which allows the state to be a little more closely connected with national issues, get a little more input, and also be provided back a little more information. Critical to the state as we go forward, knowing the most that there is on national issues. It's very important that we get membership involvement. In my presentation and the nomination speech, I made the comment that we've got to reinvigorate some membership. But as a state, I think we have some obligations to those counties to provide them some support, to have some means to help them reinvigorate some membership, get them involved. We've got to let them know that it's important to what they can do to better themselves and better our organization. I want to definitely thank everybody that participated in this conference. It's been well organized, very well run, had a tremendous business session, and the chairing the resolutions committee and the fluence that we had with that and how easy it went through and the work that our committee and staff has been able to do that worked very, very functionally smooth, no questions to it. It's kind of gratifying to see the end result that you had and get through the process without any major hiccups.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help? How can we help?
This is the fast track to more jobs and America's energy independence. Advanced Performance is here now Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
This segment is brought to you by Santa Fe Trail Meats in Overbrook, or visit us online at sftmeats.com.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Cabas. The Kansas Farm Bureau is a strong organization in the state of Kansas and just had their annual meeting in Manhattan. The following is a tribute to Steve Backus for many years of his service.
Steve, you started out as the president of Kansas Farm Bureau. In fact, you started out as a Farm Bureau member. You started out as a county chairman, president, and you occupied those positions so well, but you ended up being a great friend. And so I am so delighted to wish you well. Your leadership at Farm Bureau has made a difference. I have relied upon you in decisions that I've made in Washington, D.C., and I always trusted your judgment. So thanks for being a leader, thanks for being an advisor, but most importantly, thanks to you and Pat for being a friend.
Thanks, Steve. Good luck in your retirement. From the Kansas Soybean Association and Commission, your leadership of Farm Bureau and its coordination as a general farm organization with us as a commodity organization has just been tremendous. We appreciate what you've done for us and wish you well in your retirement.
Steve, we certainly appreciate your service to Kansas agriculture. At the Kansas Livestock Association, we've enjoyed working with you and a great partnership we have had, and wish you good luck in the future.
Steve, you've been a wonderful leader, you've been a wonderful thought leader, you've left a great legacy of providing good leadership on the board to take over for you and hiring just the right kind of people. But mostly you've been a great friend and team member, and we're going to miss you, but I wish you a great retirement.
Steve, thanks for everything you've done for Farm Bureau, both here in Kansas and at the national level. I've depended on you in the boardroom. You've always delivered, and you've always been there when we needed to do important things, and you've been there when decision time comes, and that's the true definition of a leader. So thanks for all that you've done for American agriculture.
I just want to thank Steve Backus for his years of service. He's came up through the ranks serving on his county farm bureau, and he understands problems. He's a farmer himself and fought the battles and understands what other farmers are doing, and he's maintained the respect of Kansas Farm Bureau. When there's an issue to go to our legislature, he maintained the power and, more importantly, the respect of this organization to see it through so our members can have a better livelihood at the end of the day.
Hey, Steve, on behalf of K-State Research and Extension, we just want to wish you all the very best and thank you for the 12 years of outstanding leadership that you've given to Kansas Farm Bureau and that done so much to help support us in the work that we do, and hopefully we've done the same for you. Congratulations and live well, my friend.
Mr. Steve, retiring president of Kansas Farm Bureau, I can't say anything other than I'm really Farm Bureau proud of the leadership that he provided to this organization, and myself having the opportunity to go back with Steve several years, and we got acquainted on a leadership program several years ago, and to think and see the development that an individual has made to lead this organization for 12 years, and not just be there, but to lead the organization and be as accountable as he has been. What an asset to an individual.
Steve, thanks for your service to Kansas farmers and ranchers. Without people like you stepping in, doing the hard work, leading the way, we'd have a much tougher time in this industry. Your leadership has been consistent, it's been devoted, it's been fantastic for Kansas agriculture. And on behalf of the Kansas Department of Agriculture, on the behalf of Kansans everywhere, thanks for what you've done and have a great retirement.
My deep gratitude for your friendship, your support, but more especially your countless efforts in behalf of agriculture. Everybody knows Kansas agriculture and the Kansas Farm Bureau, but it's been national in scope. And every time I got a little down, or every time that we ran into a new challenge, and goodness knows we have those, you were always a little more optimistic, and you always gave me great advice, not only as a leader of the Farm Bureau, but as a personal friend. So well done, my friend, well done.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Farm Factor on Ag AM in Kansas. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com. or you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.